Welcome back. You're still watching World Insight. I'm Tian Wei. There is only one China in the world, and Taiwan is an inalienable part of China's territory. That is an indispensable principle for China. In the New Year speech of Chinese President Xi Jinping, he reiterated the call for peaceful reunification. Well, it's inevitable for the great rejuvenation of the Chinese people. The issue of Taiwan has always been the bottom line for ties with the United States. With the local elections in Taiwan and the more complex geopolitical situation in the Asia-Pacific region, what could we expect on cross-Strait ties? In today's episode of our special series, An Updated Vision and Review on Outlook of China's Strategies, we take a look to the Taiwan issue by talking to Mr. Yang Mingjie, a director of the Institute of Taiwan Studies at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, on all of these topics. Let's listen in. What options does China have?
For me, I don't think there is some options for Chinese people, because that issues is internal issues, and also I think that Taiwan issues, I said, is related to sovereignty and territory issues. So if they touch the bottom line, that means not options, rejections by all means to that issues.
That includes everything.
Including everything.
As the Chinese President Xi Jinping put it, all options on the table.
Oh yes, all options.
But on the other hand, Mr. Yang, China now is at a critical juncture. China cannot be dragged down by one issue. Just name it, any issue. Because China wants to have a better life with people. And also, China is in a much more complicated international and regional situation than just compared to when it was just taking off its economy.
For me, I think we regard the unification as a long-term process. Secondly is that
when you say long-term, Mr. Yang, may I just ask, you're not saying abrupt actions coming from China either. Is that what you're trying to say?
Because according to our policy, we need communication at first, then negotiation, and finally we reach some agreements. So that will take some time. For me, it can be regarded takes a long term, but long term is not means endless issues.
When you look at the politics inside Taiwan, it's also changing dramatically, or almost like a U-turn if you look at the local elections. Does that send strong messages to the mainland? Does it give mainland more confidence of using different tools?
Maybe I don't think we want to use some tools to interfere with Taiwan issues. The local elections, I think, just give a very clear signal that if any party or any authorities don't pay much attention on the people's life, don't pay much attention on the economic development, and want to ignore the cross-strait relations, that will be voted by its people.
But on the other hand, Mr. Yang, if you look at politicians, the nature of politicians, some of them are clinging to the skill of manipulation. And therefore, once they're being pushed into what they consider as corners, they might react in irrational way, no matter what the cost might be for the others. The so-called self-interest of certain politicians. So, Mr. Yang, given the tip of balance, as they believe, with the DPP going on now in Taiwan, how is the rest of Taiwan and also the mainland, the central government, prepared for some irrational reactions?
I think that if some politicians want to take some irrational act or policy, that irrational at first is not responsible by central government, it's responsible by local people. Then it's not only the Taiwanese people but also the mainland people, because we are Chinese. That we respond to the irrational policy or actions by rational way. That means always all measures we can make to respond for that.
But the thing is, Mr. Yang, how will those that are making policies, let's just say from the mainland, looking at the issue in Taiwan, be able to reach out to different layers of the Taiwan society and really do comprehensive consultation and making responsible decisions?
And I think that it not means that decided by the central government, something like that. For example, like Xi Jinping's speech, he used the word Taiwan 方案. It means Taiwan case. That means any options for the future of Taiwan will be negotiated or dialogue with Taiwan's people. It's some kind of a consultation. And secondly is that it not means decided just one step. It steps by step. At beginning, maybe we use the word cross-Strait integration, 两岸融合. That means we began from the low-level communication and cooperation, and then we will make some upgrading for the future.
What kind of upgrading are you talking
Upgrading
about?
may be that we can exchange our views to make some democratic consultation or something like that, and then maybe finally to reach some agreements for the future of the Taiwan authorities, something like that.
The Taiwan issue is not just an issue that's sensitive to China-US relations, but also is an issue when China is developing at a rapid speed and become the center of the world attention, and its evolving relationship with all the other significant and also regional players. So, Mr. Yang, how would China be able to, first of all, prevent manipulation of the Taiwan issue by any side, and also be able to cool-mindedly address some of the recent phenomenons, whether it is with the major powers or it is with some of those countries who are just trying to seek materialistic advantage? Mr. Yang, how is China looking at this overall picture?
The overall picture, I think that we feel some self-confidence about Taiwan issues.
Where does the confidence come from?
At the beginning, I see some dangers come from the foreign factors. But on the other side, there's also some positive come from foreign countries and international communities, because more and more international communities accept one China principle. Secondly is that even United States, they want to avoid confrontation, especially on Taiwan issues. So that's why even some act has been passed and signed by President, but so far there's no some concrete actions have been taken by United States government.
Mr. Yang, before we go, final question for you. As a scholar looking very closely every day on the issue of Taiwan, what are some of the pillars that you would direct your attention to every day, and that would help you to make a good judgment of the overall situation, Mr. Yang?
For me, I think there are only one important factors I want to pay much attention is what the Taiwanese people thinking and what the mainland people's thinking. That is very important for me.
The public sentiment. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Yang, for being with us. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
That's my interview with Professor Yang Mingjie in our special series, An Updated Vision, a review and outlook of China's diplomatic strategies. Tomorrow, I will talk to Professor Zhu Feng on the issue of South China Sea and the Korean Peninsula denuclearization. So please stay tuned. And that is all the time we have for today. If you'd like to see more, try to find us World Insight CGTN into your search engine or check out our YouTube channel. Also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Sina Weibo. From me, Tian Wei, and everyone on the World Insight team, thanks for watching. Tune in again next time for insights across China and around the world.